Okay, so today we are going to introduce and begin our study of slope. Slope is a very important concept. It will follow us all throughout our math career. If we take calculus, either in high school or college, this is a very fundamental aspect of calculus. Okay, and today our goal is to learn the 4 types of slope. Slope is the steepness of a line. So when we're talking about the slope of a line, we're talking about how steep it is. And the first type of slope is positive slope. Positive slope. So a positive slope, the graph goes up from left to right. We read a graph like we read a book. Okay, we read left to right. And if from left to right, the line rises, then that has positive slope. Okay, so what's happening is since we go left to right, as we go left to right, the x values are getting bigger, right? -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. The x values are increasing. So as x increases, if you look at the y values, the line is rising. So those y values are getting higher, right? The y value of this point is about 2. The y value of this point is about 4. So as x gets bigger, y is also getting bigger. It's getting higher. So as x increases, y increases. So that is how you recognize positive slope. Okay? So next, if there's positive slope, then there must also be negative slope. Okay, and negative slope, the graph goes down from left to right. So here's my line, and if it is falling from left to right, because we read a line from left to right, then it has negative slope. So x is still increasing, right? I read from left to right, and I go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. So x is still increasing. But the y values are falling. The y values are getting smaller. So y decreases. So as x increases, y decreases, and that is negative slope. So we have positive slope, we have negative slope, we can also have zero slope. Zero slope. And a zero slope, a line with zero slope, is a horizontal line. So a horizontal line looks like that. So that is a horizontal line. It has zero slope. So x, just like before, it's increasing. So x is still increasing. And as x increases, look at the y value. The y value here is 4, and here is 4, and here is 4, here is 4. The y value is remaining constant. The y value is not changing. So that is a zero slope. So positive slope, negative slope, zero slope, and lastly, and this is the weird one, there is undefined slope. An undefined slope is when you have a vertical line. So a vertical line is straight up and down. This is going to be hard to draw with my pen. Pretend that's a straight line, okay? So that's up and down. And what's happening here, the y value is changing, right? We can go from -2 to -1 to 0, 1, 2, 3. The y value's increasing, but the x value on every point on this line is staying the same, right? The x value stays constant. So the x value stays constant as y changes, or we could say as it increases, okay? All right, so those are your 4 types of slope that you need to be able to look at a line and tell what kind of slope it is. Let's look at some things that help us remember this. Okay, so these are just some little devices that might help you remember the types of slope. One is called slope mountain. So you see this mountain with a couple of little extra parts here going uphill, going up the mountain. That part would have positive slope. Going downhill, going down the mountain, because remember we're going left to right, that has negative slope. The flat part, that's a horizontal line, so that has 0 slope. And where the cliff happens and we fall off the cliff, and I'm going to write it this way because I don't think I can write sideways with this pen, that is undefined. Okay, so there are your 4 types of slope. Then there's the slope tree here. Okay, it's got all 4 types. It's got a going up from left to right, so that is positive slope. It's got going down from left to right, that is negative slope. It has a horizontal section that has 0 slope, and then the vertical section would be undefined slope. Okay, all right, and then occasionally you will see Mr. Slope guy over here. He's kind of weird looking, but it has all of it right here. Do you see this eyebrow? It's going up from left to right, and it's positive slope. That eye looks like a little plus sign. The going down from left to right is negative slope. The little wink looks like a negative sign, right? His nose is vertical, and the end of his nose looks like a U, so that's undefined. And then his mouth is horizontal, and it's got the 2 little zeros on the end. That's 0 slope. So positive slope, negative slope, 0 slope, undefined slope. What I want you to do is use this space right here and create your own diagram that has all 4 types of slope. Label those 4 types of slope, positive, negative, 0, and undefined, and give your creation a title like slope guy or slope mountain or slope tree. If you can think of a way that would help someone remember the 4 types of slope, draw that diagram here, label it, and title it. And now you're ready to do some practice.